We're right back with you, the Speak Your Mind show. Sam, we're having such fun. We're getting close to the end of the show, but we still have some text that came in. I saw there was a text that came in that says immigration, it's concerning the visa issue. It says that immigration are not efficient and they don't follow up on people who have overstayed and stuff like that. So, you know, if they're going to have visa waivers, then they should be able to follow up on to see if people leave the country and that kind of stuff. I think that's an important text that came in, because I too believe that immigration should do the follow-up services. Yeah. Good evening. You're Speak Your Mind. Go right ahead, please.
How are you doing?
We're doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm fine. I was listening to them lady with this talk about the cargo thing. At the beginning of the show, we're hearing a lady, you know, speaking about the men and fishing license get taken back from them. And you see why they take back the people license from them? Bad service. You know, you take the people in cargo, make sure that stuff reach. You understand? You're running a business, you go over and beyond the call of duty to make sure the people get the representation what they're looking for from you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Regardless to what boat breakdown or what, make sure the people get their stuff delivered on time, because you don't collect your money. So that's my input for it.
Thank you so much.
You know, that's my input for it, because I do my own little business saying, if sometimes tourists give me money and say, look, I'm looking for $4. Even if I'm sick, I gonna stay up and make sure I do them dolls. You understand? To keep that customer and to keep my business, and to them to say, boy, I give she money and she take 4 or 5 months before she could have give me so and so. You know what I mean? Because it stains you. It gives you a stain. Regardless what he calling this saying, people ain't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that.
Carla, you're correct, you know, because all people want to hear is that their goods and services are delivered on time. And that's what they want to hear. And you know, I was thinking about it before coming to the show, and one of the things I wanted to talk about was the fact that I think that all businesses in our territory that have a customer base of more than 50, even 100, say 100, if you have more than 100 persons as your customers, you should have a customer desk. You should have a place where customers can get satisfaction.
Yes.
And we have a lot of businesses here. You know, they have hundreds of customers, and there's no place, there's no desk, there's no window that you could go to and make a complaint or get some kind of customer satisfaction. And that is wrong. I think that is wrong. We need to step up our quality of service a bit.
If some of those goods were things that's supposed to go in the fridge,
perishable,
reimburse them people.
Right
give
away.
Them back their money. Give back their money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, them don't need to give that man another license again to operate here in the BVI, because he do not sound like a BVI lander. I see, so I'm laughing. Good night.
I want you to stop bashing people who ain't from the BVI.
I'm not bashing people. No. I ain't doing that.
I want you to just find ways to help BVI Islanders grow personally, right?
And be balanced.
Let's all help each other to educate our own. We could do that, right? I don't want you to keep bashing all people.
I'm not bashing nobody.
Because I want you to understand, I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I have half of my family from Antigua, half of them from Tatola, and I will not let you talk about Antiguans.
I'm not bashing.
I'm just pulling your leg. I appreciate your call.
I'm just saying that, you know, if you are putting it in a way like, okay, if you're not a BVI lender and you get the opportunity to operate a business in the BVI, do the best that you can to make sure you make the way for other people.
And we want BVI lenders to do the same too when they're doing business, to do good business, fair business for people. Yeah. Yeah,
you know
definitely.
I mean?
We just want good ethical business, because if it ain't good, the bottom line is that it's going to stay in the country. And then the country going to look like a country that engage in allow scrupulous business practices to go on, and then all of a sudden, you know, everybody looking at us. You know, we don't want that. We want, when they look at us the same way we look at St. Thomas when they put big headlines, say we're #1. This is what we want to see. You know what I mean?
Half of them people who come to Tola Sam.
Not half, but a good much of them. But the thing is, we want them to stay. We don't want them to come for the day and spend $100 or $200. We want them to spend a week and spend $2,000 and $3,000. And that's, you know, that's really our aim. That's what we want. We want people on the island. Like right now, things are slow. What are you going to do now for the off season? It's so dead. What's going on?
You know.
I mean, well, you have any ideas, things that we could do to help market, promote the territory a little bit more? What do you think should be done?
First, we have to look at the face that is selling our product and make sure that they know how to sell the product that they're selling. I keep telling them that Tourist Board need to bring out a book teaching the people about Tatola and the sister islands. You understand?
That's an excellent idea.
That's since we flow, get workshops and get the people them ready. Do exam. If you can't get 80 out of 100, you can't get back the job.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea. And while you're at it, I would like to add that all frontline people, you know, I call frontline people those people who meet the tourists for the first time. Your immigration officers, your custom officers, your taxi drivers, your bar waiters, all of them should be trained.
Yes, this should be trained.
And I just want to add this, and I hope people don't think that I'm bashing. As part of the training, I think, Courtney, you should be trained and taught BVI culture, history, and I think the Minister for Education is really working on something like that. And I saw something in the paper the other day. The BVI is an English-speaking country. I don't care what part of the world you come from. In order for you to personally grow, learn English. And I think that should be a requirement for any work permit application. If you don't speak English after a year or two you here in this country, your work permit should not be renewed.
It's true.
I hate to say it, but listen, I mean that. I've been saying it. So English is a native language. Don't tell me that we need to have anything in French, Spanish, whatever. You feel like you have, you know, other talents and you're not being given opportunity to exhibit your talent. You know where you're going. You're coming to an English-speaking country. It helps you. And then the problem is a lot of our people who are coming in that don't know English. They're telling the children, well, you don't have to learn English. Go to school. They're going to have to teach you in Spanish, or they have to teach you in French, or they have to teach you in Dutch. Foolishness. Learn English. That's what we are, English-speaking country. So I think so you see, you give me a good idea.
Yeah,
we need to start working on our training, get our frontline staff up to date.
Yeah. Sometimes I go in school, I know that tourism, even before financial aid came in, tourism was our main industry, and I think that they need to get more serious with tourism. You understand? It was a main economic pillar, and I think they need to get a little more serious with that industry. It's a growing industry, you know, and it's a good money-making industry. They just need to get a little more serious with it, and that alone could turn around our economy.
Well, you know? We're going to have to definitely work on it, like you said. So anyway, thank you for your call.
Good night.
You've taken up enough of our time.
All right, good night.
Don't say that, Sam.
You know, I gotta have a little fun with you.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
But Sam, you know, come this time in the show and we have to wrap up.
Oh, we gotta wrap up.
Try to make a synopsis of all the things that we had on the show tonight. We started talking a little bit about education, tourism. We said we're going to touch on the prison and economy. We barely touched on the tourism and the economy. We have to try and tackle some of the other issues. Right. Good evening. This is our last call. The person is gone anyway. So Okay, we were going to talk a bit about the telephones as well. I had that down here, so about the drop calls and stuff like that. But we're going to save that for the next show. We touched a bit about customs and the new policy to encourage local shopping by giving an exemption to business people that are bringing goods and services into the territory. I was going to remind persons about the Music Fest and the Small Islands Conference, which is coming up. Coming up not too far. We spent a lot of time talking about the situation with the boat that supposedly was supposed to leave here to go to Grenada, and the latest information we have on that right now is that in the next 10 to 12 days, that boat is going to be docked in Grenada. At some point, I was going to try to talk about the banks and refinancing. We didn't get a chance to do that. We were unfortunately not able to read some of the texts, but we got to a number of them. We got text about the airport, the Labor Department, the price of gas, the teachers, Mr. Campbell, the Anegada ferry boat services, some stuff about bush cutting and the immigration department. So we had a very good interaction with the community this evening. And the show, as I like to say in a number of instances, is that the show is really the people's show. And although we may have an agenda for the show, when people call in, we have to answer the people. We have to answer the concerns of the people as well. So although the show might not have went in the direction that we wanted it to go, it was still a great show to me, Sam. And I allow you to wrap up at this point so we could call the show.
Courtney, I can be short. I just think we had a great show. Yeah, we would like to, keep it on point. And some of the ideas, some of the teasers that we bring to the customers or the folks watching is because we want to stimulate their thoughts. I think we were able to do some of that. My only two biggest talking points were, I believe that the UK government has a core responsibility to help market the territories, not just the BVI, but all the territories in the Caribbean. When I pick up St. Thomas paper again and I see things like we're #1 and St. Thomas is getting a blow up every year, 3-4 times a year from major publications that are US based, US owned, and I think that we could start getting a lot of that, being connected to the European Union, being connected to England especially. I think they have a core responsibility to help market this territory. They can't just be concerned about the financial services sector of the country when we have two main pillars, and I don't think there's enough emphasis being placed by the UK on behalf of the territories to help connect the BVI tourism product with potential travelers from the UK. So that's really one of the things. The next thing is again, I'm happy to see what the government is doing with the tax. I want to advise businesses, if you find that you're having a hard time, you used to do a certain amount of volume of business with government agencies or departments, and you find that that's not the case anymore, before we start criticizing the government, we have to look at ourselves first. So look at your price structure, look at your costs, look at your gross margin, make sure that you could reduce and still make a profit but not kill the government, and then sit down with the people who are responsible and say, look, I'm able to meet the match, whatever it is you're getting, but it is the responsibility of government, I believe. If things are not happening outside in, they must happen from in out. So government has to find ways to inject economical activities within the country, whether it's building airport, building hospital, building cruise ship dock, doing business with the businesses around you. All of that is the core responsibility of the government, because if your people do well, the country does well. And a lot of those businesses that government is asking to hire young people to pay their taxes and train them and keep them on the job, if these businesses are not doing well, how are they going to maintain that level of activity? So those two things, Courtney, I really think is important. The guy Sean, I don't want Sean to think that we're here trying to beat up on him. So Sean, we're not here trying to beat up on you, but you got to understand that, you know, a lot of people doing business in this country, they're not licensed. I'm not saying that it's you, but a lot of people are doing business in this country. They come in on work permit, they come in on contract. Next thing you know, they're running a business, Courtney, out of this country. And the government is so slack, they come down on their own people, but don't come down on the people who they're supposed to come down on. The woman in Virgin Gorda, there's a good example. If you got guys in Virgin Gorda fishing and here in this country for so long, you tell us that the residents, we don't know. I don't ever believe that the government gonna come down on people just because they want to come down and they can. I think they have a legitimate reason. If those people are not licensed, they're not citizens of the country and they illegally fishing, let's just thank God that they're not like some of these guys who get caught coming out of St. Thomas and got to pay thousands of dollars to get out of jail. I remember the last administration had to deal with something like that. But at the same time, I do want you to get your fish. So somebody said earlier in one of our texts, we have a fishery, call a fishery, come down buy your fish. I know it sounds a bit retarded or inconvenienced, but you know what? It's what we have right now. And then still rally the government to try to put a fishery up there and get legitimate fishermen with license to do business in the country, to start supplying the fishery and also supply yourself. So, Courtney, with that said, I really don't have anything else to say. Folks, join us again next week. Thank you for watching. Again, for all the supporters, thank you so much every week for supporting the show. For all the haters, thank you also for tuning in, because without you, there's no balance.
Yeah. Well, Sam, all in all, we had a very good show, and we definitely have to thank the persons that called in and the persons that text in, because they're the ones that really made the show what it was tonight. So on that note, I'd say God bless these Virgin Islands and the people that live in it, and we'll see you again next week.